Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to our special zombie episode of Big Brother, Cliff Notes Live. I hope y'all are doing fine. I feel like this should be Halloween, right? We'll call this practice for Halloween. We're getting close. We're almost just a month away. So I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Before we go any further, a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love reality fans. I love Big Brother fans and Cliff Note Live fans, watching live and watching repeat. Zombie twist, not loving that quite so much, but we will talk about that this evening. I want to get y'all's thoughts, what y'all think about it. Y'all know I'm into zombies, right? One of the scariest movies that still gives me the heebie-jeebies is Dawn of the Dead, George Romero. So this week should have been absolutely perfect for me. I just wish they'd done a whole lot more. And you'll hear me gripe about that, I'm sure, throughout the evening itself. But welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Before I go any further, as I sometimes do, just a reminder for those of you who are not already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. If you do that and you turn on notifications, every time I do one of these Cliff Notes Live episodes, I do my morning recaps, I do whatever else I'm posting out there, you'll get notification. And that way, you'll be the first to know. And that's always fun, isn't it? So if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. Certainly appreciate it. And you give it a little thumbs up while you're out there as well. A big shout out. I know I watch my subscriber count. It's gone up a little bit, as I would expect with Big Brother. So I know I've got some new folks out there. Welcome to y'all. Love having you on board. This is just kind of a little chat session. A lot of folks, a lot of questions. I promise I will get to as many as I can. If I miss one of your questions, I'm probably not ignoring you. It's just, I don't read as fast as some of these comments scroll sometimes. Shoot me a DM after the show. We'll talk one-on-one because I love to talk Big Brother. It's been a fun season so far. What are we, night number 54? And there's a lot happening. A lot not happening this week, it seems like. It's getting a little boring. I'm curious to see what's going to happen for the rest of the week while we wait to see who gets to stay in the house. All right, before we go any further, real quick shout outs to everyone. And before I go any further, Mask Spoof, thank you so much. Yet again, my friend, always throwing me a little extra support. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I absolutely do. All right, Paula, I was going to mention you first, and I'll do it anyway. Paula Scar, how are you doing? Heather Marshall, MBK, Mark Taylor, Mike Johnson, Brian Hosteller, hey Brian, Marilyn Sutherland, Maddie Dinchy, Jake the Horror Movie Geek, hey Jake, Newbie, Tim Cox, or Nubby. Those have two different connotations, don't they? Tim Cox, Andy W, Connie Gabarino, Macy Johnson, Ma, how are you doing? Kiki, Ken T, Jamie Ward, Janet Johnson. Janet always giving me support. Thank you, Janet. Vicky Stone, Tina Warner, Amanda Lowe, Desiree White. Oh, there you go. I thought I'd lost my my comments. How horrible would that be? Jamie Ward, Kim Sinclair, Terry Thomas, Carly Hunt, and Noe. And let's see, how far can we go with this? White, I think I mentioned, but if not, welcome again. Lois Cobb, Nathana Bowman, Amber Hayes, Tommy Braskett, Barbara Schultz, AW, Tony Token 174, Patricia M, and I think we'll about shut down. Guy and Lee Stock as well. Puddin' Time. How could I leave out Puddin' Time? And Jeff Pizzarino. Picarino, right? Apologies to any of the mispronunciations. I hope y'all are all doing fantastic. I got to say, it's so much fun seeing the names I see out there week after week. It's just a family atmosphere, right? But then I see the new names, and that's kind of exciting as well. For those of you who maybe haven't been out here before or just forgot, we are going to talk about spoilers. I imagine tonight it's going to be all Big Brother. Certainly, we'll be talking some spoilers. So if you don't want to know what's been going on since last night, middle of the night episode, God, that thing was on late, right? But we're going to talk a little bit about what happened since that time as well. And I see Heather Marshall, very first post saying last week was my first Cliff Notes Live. Thank you. Welcome aboard. A little bit boring week inside the house, but we'll talk about it anyway. It's been fun. What do y'all think about last night? The episode they showed came on like 10:45 or something here, or I guess 9:45. It was late Central Time, even later for y'all on the East Coast. But they showed some interesting stuff. That argument with between Siri and Felicia and Nicole and Jared. Boy, they got into it. That was quite the interesting little situation. Jared telling Nicole and Felicia that he kind of did them dirty because they had voted to evict him. Felicia just jumping right back in. It's like, you were more than happy to send me out the week before, so I'm not feeling too bad, Jared. They certainly argued with each other. Like, how do you recover from that? Do you think Felicia and Felicia and Sari could ever work together again after that, or are they just kaput, hands washed? I'm kind of leaning that direction. Although, if Jared was to go this week and Sari's all alone, would she maybe then try to gravitate towards Felicia and Nicole, the remainder of the brown sugar babes? Could be. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Stranger bedmates in this season. I laughed so much last night. Everyone got ready to go to bed in the Big Brother house. It's, I don't know, midnight or so. And it's Sari and Matt or Sari and Jared and Bowie Jane are in the room along with Felicia. Felicia is snoring as loud as you could possibly imagine. At one point, Sari looks over at them. They're all awake. She said, "It's not me. It's her. Don't blame that snoring on me." And they're all just sitting there listening and trying to go to sleep with so much snoring going on. I've told y'all before, I worried about that while I was in the house, that my snoring would irritate people enough that they'd boot me just to get me out of the house. And they told me, said, yeah, you do snore. But they also said it was rhythmic snoring, so it kind of helped them drift off. Yeah, they probably just blowing a little smoke my way. But anyway, that's good. All right, let's see. A couple of questions on here. Brian Hestaler, Corey and America are too comfortable. I don't want anyone comfortable in the house. Yeah, Corey specifically yesterday was talking to the cameras and saying, I feel like I'm probably okay if Cameron wins HOH. If he makes it in, stays in the house and wins HOH, he's probably not going to go after me. Maybe he goes after Felicia and Nicole, who has said. Corey's not sure that he really buys that, but he's thinking he's probably safe, hopefully. But yeah, Corey's also a little bit worried if Jared somehow manages to stay in the house that he could be target number one. And I think that's a fair assumption. I think Corey's a fantastic player. I think he caused a lot of stuff to blow up with that argument he had last Thursday and all that. I feel like he's in pretty good with that side of the house. But do you remember there's a group that's formed, this new alliance, what do they call them, the Fugitives? We're starting to get all these alliances again as we get into the jury phase. But the Fugitives, and they were talking about Cameron and Matt and Jag were the inner three. Then you kind of add Blue as kind of a side piece, number 4. And then you have America and Corey as number 5 and 6. So they're kind of this outer layer. They're part of that group, but not really. Now, that's a dangerous place to be in if you think you're in tight with your alliance, but you're at the bottom of the pecking order. And that may be what they're looking at right now. But then again, Corey's also said that he's thrown every HOH comp so far, except for the wall and the one he just won. So maybe he's going to turn it on. A few competition wins here or there, and he could make things happen. But yeah, I agree. Did they feel too comfortable, or Corey's just so busy with this showmance that suddenly he doesn't worry as much about strategically what could be happening in terms of people targeting him? Could be a little of both. He's got to be careful of that showmance that it doesn't affect his game too much. All right, Mark Taylor saying, how do you grade the season now that it's halfway? Oh, that's a tough one. The twist, what happened in the nether regions? The nether region just kind of disappeared, right? And Scaryverse sure hadn't been very scary for me. So some of the twist and everything, I give it a solid C. It's okay, but I didn't like the twist of Sari coming in. Not huge on some of the twists that they've had so far within the season itself. So I'll give it a C. Cast-wise, I'll give them a B. I mean, I think there have been some good players in there. I like the cast in terms of who the people are. I just wish some of them weren't quite so much a follower. I wish we had a few more Camerons and a few less Bowie Janes in the house. Nothing against her. She's playing a floating game, coasting down the middle, which is a legit strategy for the first half of the season. She better do something different going forward, though, or it's going to be a quick season for her as well. She'll be in the jury house, but that may be about as far as she goes. But yeah, you've got even people like Felicia, who I don't know is playing the cleanest game at all. But she's tried to make some moves, and she's certainly more than vocal about saying what she wants done and all of that. So cast wise, I'll give it a B. Twist and everything, maybe a C. So I'm somewhere, certainly not the worst season I've ever seen. It's been entertaining watching, but we haven't quite seen the chaos I expect. Hopefully going into jury, that's where we're going to get a lot more of that. And then there's people like Matt, who's just too nice. I want people that are vicious and going after each other. And Matt's just a nice guy. So we'll find out. All right. Mike Johnson saying this week is way too slow. God, tell me about it. Want to see Jared gone and see how the house dynamics function with Cameron still in play. I agree. Fine. They had a double eviction, which normally when you have a double eviction, that means two people go home. We didn't have anyone go home with this double eviction, which is kind of a weird situation, right? A double eviction, the whole idea is that someone is caught completely off guard, sent out of the house. They walk out saying, what in the world just happened? During my season, we sent Christy out the door, and she thought we were going after Mickey and Holly. So she was certainly surprised. You didn't get this time. Jared hadn't packed his bags, but he was back 5 minutes later, so it didn't really matter anyway, did it? I get it. Yeah, you want to have a battle back of some sort, and fair enough. And they're trying to make it to 100 days. But I kind of wish maybe they hadn't done the double eviction and the battle back at the same time. Now, I get it, because then by doing it the way they did, they don't have to sequester anyone for a week. And there's all kinds of reasons that they would give for why they did it this way. I just like the idea of a double eviction actually meaning that someone goes home. And as far as this week, a little bit boring and all that, it just blows me away that they had all of this happen Thursday night, and now we're going to have to go a whole week without veto competitions, without nominations, with nothing going on except these two guys finished up all their stuff over the weekend, I guess, the little competitions to see who gets to do the competition on Thursday. So between then and Thursday, there's nothing going on in that house. There's no decision making to be made. Yeah, people are planning ahead and all that, but it just makes for kind of a boring week. I kind of wish they'd had the double eviction on Thursday. And if they want to do it the way they did, have the double eviction and everyone's thinking, all right, now we're done. And then have Julie pop back on the screen and say, oh, one more thing, guest. We're gonna have a battle back right now. And one of these two is coming right back into the house. And maybe have a 2-hour episode, do it all at the end. And then have an HOH later in the night and truly speed this thing up a little bit. But again, they want to go 100 days, and this is the way they're doing it. I do wonder if some of this has to do with Luke getting sent home early, them losing a person they weren't expecting. Because of that, is this battle back and everything maybe something that they decided on last minute? Could be. It kind of seems like it could be. All right. Ma saying that thumbnail is scary, and Lindy saying love the graphic. All right, let me tell you a little story or give you a little suggestion, recommended viewing for those of you who haven't done so. I told you I love zombies, right? The Dawn of the Dead just got me. I saw it at a midnight showing in a shopping mall that was shut down. So yeah, very scary. But since we've got zombies inside the Big Brother house, let me give you a little recommendation. I think it's available on Netflix still. There are 2 different TV series that involve zombies and the Big Brother house. One of them is called Dead Set, and it's a fantastic. It's not a movie. I think it's a series, 1 season or whatever. But the whole idea is that you get all these knuckleheads inside the Big Brother house, and there's a zombie apocalypse that's happening outside that they don't know about. All they know is that suddenly the people on the speakers aren't responding to them anymore when they ask for food in the storage room. Poor Felicia. She'd be going crazy if they didn't respond to her request. All they know is that suddenly no one's paying attention to them, and they're singing and no one's saying anything. They don't know what to do. They start running out of food. Eventually, I think someone manages, says, forget. Yeah. Well, I don't want to give you spoilers, but it turns out there's zombies all over the outside of this house, and they're trying to survive on the inside. Suddenly the people that you think are the biggest knuckleheads that you're ready to get out of the house are the ones that you have to rely on to save your life because the place is getting overrun. So yeah, that's actually uh, that's a background. That's a set from Dead Set. Now there's another show called Reality Z, which is almost word for word the exact same script, but it's in Portuguese. They've got subtitles, but it's a Portuguese version of the same show. Except there, it's not called Big Brother. It's called, I don't know, Gods and Goddesses or something. But it's a reality show where they're locked away in a house, not realizing that the world's falling apart with zombies on the outside. Reality Z and Dead Set. Y'all check it out. Let me know what you think. I thought it was great, especially having been in the house and imagining something like that happening. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Kim Sinclair saying, I definitely think Siri will try to befriend Felicia for the brown sugar babes. I think you're right. I could see that. I certainly could. And I could see her saying, look, yes, we had these disagreements and all of that. Jared, I was with him and it caused some friction between us, but now he's gone. I've got no one except you two. And I think you're right. I could see that happening. Now, on the other hand, is Felicia still going to be around to make amends with Siri and everything? I keep hearing everyone talking this week saying that they want to go after Felicia next, even before Siri, which kind of caught me off guard. That surprised me a little bit. But we've had Cameron talking about the fact that he does not want Felicia on jury. He feels like she is going to be an incredibly bitter juror, and I think he's right. In fact, Felicia's already said that she's not going to base if she's on jury, and she has to pick someone. She's not basing it on who wins competitions, anything like that. She's basing it on the relationships they formed and just how mean they were. I don't remember the word she used, but just how they handled their relationships and everything in the house. And she made it sound like very much a bitter juror type situation. So Cameron doesn't want her in the house for that reason. And it seems like everyone else is kind of just jumping on board as well. I know even Matt has said, yeah, we can't really trust Felicia that much. She talks a lot, and he's been told that she was coming after him. So, of course, Matt's going to protect Siri as much as he can anyway, right? So, yeah, it could be Felicia going out before Siri, in fact. And then you may have Siri and Nicole being the only two left of the Brown Sugar Babes trying to come together and seeing what they could do. We'll see. All right, Mask Spoofer, Spoof saying, I really want Jared back in the house to make Corey and America uncomfortable. Well, that would work, wouldn't it? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it seems like Cameron has the lead or won all these 3 rounds of competitions. We saw the first 2 on the show last night, the TV episode, and then I've heard that he lost the 3rd one, that Cameron won it. Jared was a little tearful, a little depressed, as anyone would be after losing that opportunity a couple of days ago. He was in talking to Siri and Felicia, and they were kind of trying to calm him down a little bit. But yeah, it seems like Cameron has a chance to try to solve this puzzle. And I say puzzle, we don't know that. I keep hearing the house guests talk about this time puzzle. I think they're just guessing. I don't know that they've been told, but I'm picturing, a lot of people are picturing a Caitlin Herman type puzzle from back in was she 20, where she had to solve it. She couldn't do it. No, I felt so bad for her. At the time, I will admit, I laughed a little bit, but having met her afterwards, it's a tough legacy to maintain. I'm glad she can laugh at the whole thing and enjoy the notoriety it brings. But yeah, it sounds like Cameron may get something similar. It's funny, Corey was talking to Jared yesterday and said, Jared, you're not really that strong at puzzles. You're not necessarily great at times type situations. It may be just as well that you didn't win this thing and that Cameron gets to do all that instead of yourself, because that may not be right up there with spelling, may not be the best thing that you need to be doing to try to stay in the house. He didn't say spelling. I threw that in. But yeah, we'll see. That the pressure of performing. When I did that battle back, and I knew if I did not win that competition, I was out of the house. The pressure that you face is so incredible. And you know that you're being watched by millions of people as well. Now, I got lucky because I got a ball that got sunk on my 2nd try. And as soon as I got my first ball to go to the end and it worked, well, then you build up a lot of confidence. And all of a sudden, dare I say, you get a little cocky even. But for the other people that were in my battle back, after the first few balls didn't fall, they heard Julie Chen saying, Cliff gets another one. That pressure just ramps up and up and up. And they're going to see that on Thursday, Cameron or Jared, either one. You gotta deal with the stress, and it's hard to deal with. All right. Taylor Mangus saying, which duo or alliance do you think will take it all the way to the end? What a good question. At one point, I would have said Corey and America, but I think they're just going to have people targeting them before they get too far. I'll tell you who I think. I'll call the final four. How about that? I could see a Taylor and Corey. Taylor. I think it last season. I could see a Corey and America, and I could see a Matt and a Jag working together in a final four. And then you get to the very end, and I think Matt and Jag, they're too good at the competitions. I think one or the other wins. They send out probably Corey, go to a final three of those three. And then I don't know. I think Matt and Jag maybe take each other, and then I picked Jag at the very beginning to win. I think it's possible, but I also think Matt has a lot of support in that house and a lot of people that would vote for him. I felt a little bad. I think Jared is the one who got called out a little bit for saying, because of his hearing impairment, he could get a lot of sympathy votes if he made it to the final two. And so we have to watch out for that. And people said, you're kind of weaponizing his disability and all that. I think you have to consider every single option and situation when you're inside that house. And I think it is true that for whatever reason you want to throw out, because he's a really nice guy, because he has a hearing impairment, it doesn't matter the reason. There are reasons that maybe Matt would get some votes from people. They'd be more inclined to vote for him as opposed to other people. And so, yeah, I would be worried about going to the end with Matt because one, he's so strong. Two, he's so well liked by everyone in the house. So, yeah, I'm going to call it Matt and Jag. Of those two, I don't know who would win it or not, but that's my pick for right now. Next week, it may change completely. All right, Maddie Denchey saying, what are your thoughts on Jared being one of the most disliked contestants ever to play the game? Ever? That is a high hurdle to be facing. I'll say this. First of all, you've got to have a villain in every show, right? If you don't have the villain, it gets really boring. And I think Jared I was going to say he's been spun to be the villain. I don't think that's the case. I truly think that Jared has a little growing up to do, right? I just think sometimes he doesn't think before he speaks. And sometimes some of the things he says are a little, abrasive, misogynist. There's a few words that you could throw out there. I'm not a huge fan of the way he talks to Blue sometimes. I feel like, I think there's better ways you could have a conversation with your showmance, your pseudo girlfriend, you're not a girlfriend at all, because I still have one back home, whatever you want to call it. But is he the most disliked? I don't know. And y'all know me. I've always said I'm going to be positive. I'm not going to base my judgment of any person that's played that game based on just what I see inside the house, because that game is designed to bring out the worst in people. And so Jared may just not handle stress real well. And maybe you go in there, you can't trust anyone. And in Jared's case, he suddenly found out that Blue, for example, didn't tell him everything that she knew. And he's felt betrayed by some people he didn't think he was going to have to worry about. That starts creating all kinds of paranoia. And before long, his bad side has just come out at times. But that may not be who he is in real life. I hope not. I look forward to meeting him after the show. So I'm not gonna label him as one of the worst of all time, either from a character or gameplay standpoint or anything else. He's doing what he needs to do to try to win the game. I don't think he's doing it that well. I think he's created a lot of targets on himself for his own stuff. He tried to tell his mom, Siri, that I think Blue may have kind of figured out our secret. Well, yeah, it's because you were whispering to her all the little clues every time y'all were in the hammock or in bed together. No surprise that she probably figured it out. And Siri is like, Jared, I can't believe you told her. But he's trying to not blame it on himself. He's said a few things and done a few things that make that target on his back a whole lot bigger than it should have been. But again, you have to have all kinds of people playing this game. If you had everyone that was a super fan, brilliant strategist, I don't know, maybe that would be kind of fun. But I think you need some sloppy players as well. You need some emotional players every season. It's not just ethnicity that we need diversity in. It's not just age, location, or things. We need diversity in the way people approach this game and the way they approach life in general. And sometimes that means you get people that aren't necessarily your favorites, but that's okay. Remember, it's just a game. And just because they do this inside doesn't mean they do it in the outside world. Now, the fact that he's got a girlfriend outside, we'll see what she thinks about the way this game's played out. All right. Wouldn't that be something? And saying Cameron is still the main player. Matt's coming on. I got to say, Cameron said he was going to come in and blow that house up, and he's done it. And now they're talking about holding on to him, keeping him over Jared, which Cameron's like a snake, a stick of dynamite. Call it either one. An incredible tool as long as it's being used against someone else. But you better be careful how you handle either one of those things. And I feel the same thing with Cameron. He's a great player from competition standpoint. I think he's as good as anyone in there in terms of winning when he needs to win. But he has a devious mind, which I kind of applaud. I do feel like sometimes Cameron is a little too focused on making the big, showy, explosive move that's going to get him the most notoriety without always thinking about what are my next steps afterwards. And so suddenly he does that and then find, if it wasn't for the battle back, he'd be out the door now, right? So I think sometimes he has to be a little more careful than he's been. But from a viewing standpoint, he's viewing gold, right? There's always something going on with Cameron. People are either worried about him, they're trying to get on board with him. He's over there plotting. He's just staring off that 1,000-mile stare while people just open their guts because no one's comfortable not having someone talking to you. He's something else. Let me say this. I don't remember during my season, maybe because it was inside and I just didn't notice it. I don't remember us wearing sunglasses as much as some of the people in this house this season are wearing sunglasses. It's like they're playing a freaking game of Texas Hold'em poker or something. Hoodies on, sunglasses on. I don't know if I've ever actually seen Jared's eyes or Cameron's eyes in particular, because they're always wearing sunglasses. I had sunglasses and I had a hat, and sometimes I would wear them inside just because I wanted to get quick 50 winks, which never worked because I start snoring and they know I'm sleeping anyway. But for the most part, I don't feel like we wore the sunglasses like some of them did, but just an observation. All right, let's see. Mark Taylor saying, is Nicole a true floater? She was. She was doing everything possible not to. Nicole and Bowie Jane both, I felt, were the floaters of the season. But having said that, let me think about rethink what I was getting ready to say. I was going to say yes, because they've been very careful not to divulge their loyalties, their intentions, right? But on the other hand, I feel like Nicole's been pretty loyal to the brown sugar babes in that side of the house. I don't feel like she's ever said, hey, I'm going to turn against them because it seems like the power's on the other side of the house. And I view that as a true floater. When I played the game, I didn't consider myself a floater because I had my loyalties, I had my alliances, and the only time I ever went against them was when I was on the block with someone on the same side. And you do what you have to survive, but I never really intentionally went against the side of the house that I felt most loyal to. And I feel like Nicole's doing the same thing. So I don't know if that actually qualifies to the ultimate definition of a floater. I maybe give it to Bowie Jane more than Nicole, just because Bowie Jane seems like she'll vote with whoever has the power. Now it may have changed here in the last week, but before that, I felt like Bowie Jane was more the floater than anyone else in that house. All right, Tracy Munkenfuss saying, see how quickly I just can get that off my tongue nowadays, Tracy. I wish more slop and cold showers awarded for floaters. Or just anyone, right? I hate it. Well, I was never have nots, so I can't complain too much. But yeah, have nots just kind of went away. And maybe it's because of this zombie stuff and everything. That zombie twist. There's so much more you could have done. If you're going to have to come back in the house and be a zombie for a week, why is the only punishment they have to wear a costume that really doesn't seem like it's that uncomfortable or anything else? I'd be telling I would do so much stuff. I'd maybe say zombies have to sleep in the have not room and have it redone as a cemetery for 1 week. And you have to hang out there, and maybe they're playing scary sounds over the loudspeakers or bats screeching or something. I don't know. Something silly while they're up in the cemetery. I'd maybe say you can't talk during certain periods of time. Or what about this? There's zombies. Why not just say every few hours or whenever Big Brother decides you're going to hear some zombie moans. You two zombies have to get up and you have to wander around the house moaning and going into different rooms and bothering people until we say stop. Yeah, or make them do cold shower, or just say, hey, zombies don't shower. So see how much people want to hang out with you, Mr. Zombie, after a week of not showering. I feel like there's a lot more they could do from a punishment aspect and to make it more fun for us as viewers than to just have them wear an outfit that didn't even really look like it was that fancy whatsoever. Ask me. I could come up with all kinds of zombie punishments if CBS had just reached out to me. All right, Sunshine DiNardo. Corey lost the plot. Corey found out that that as much as he wants to play Big Brother, it's easy to get distracted, right? It's so funny. Corey was saying, I really want to play the game. I'm not going to give up my game for America, and I know I need to be careful, but I really like hanging out with America in the evening. Yeah. Poor Corey. He's doing the best he can. I feel like Corey, to a large extent, is a good player, but sometimes I almost feel like he gets so into his own head that he overanalyzes things, or maybe even more than this. He gets too confident in his analysis and isn't always willing to acknowledge that maybe his read wasn't perfectly right, because he's right enough times that he maybe misses out. And I think in the end, maybe that's going to catch him a little bit. And I don't have anything specific to point to. I just feel like he feels very confident at times about the way things are going. And now he's been worried about Matt. He's mentioned Matt a few times. I feel like someone could maybe sneak under the radar that maybe be a little too close to him. I mean, picture America. What if this is all just a bit of a game from America, that she's just holding on to Corey because she knows that's strong protection, and she cuts him loose at some point going forward to protect her game? Talking about a bit of a mind, I don't know, a mind shock if something like that was to happen. I was going to think of something else, but yeah. I think Corey's playing a pretty good game so far. He just has to be careful with the show. Oh, I did not like the showmances during my season. It's tough. It's tough enough to go after all these people when they're 1-1-1, but when they bond together and they're watching out for each other, it just makes it that much tougher even. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Let's shoot the shit. Can see Bowie being taken to final 2 and everyone trust Matt. They better clip him or he can win. I absolutely agree. And you're right. And I can see at some point right now, Bowie Jane is in an interesting position. Suddenly, I feel like she's become a bit of a swing vote for different sides of the house, which gives her a certain amount of power. At some point, as you get far enough into the season, people are suddenly going to stop wanting to send her out the door. They're going to say, well, let's just send her out because it doesn't get any blood on my hands. She hadn't really done anything. Why not send her out? But if she can survive that, she'll get to the end and suddenly someone's going to say, well, why shouldn't we take her to the end? She's a guaranteed win when it comes to jury votes. Sis, during my season, I feel like if she just made it another, I don't know, it'd probably been 2 or 3 more weeks, but if she'd made it a little bit further, I think people will start looking at her as an easy person to take forward. But then again, look at Victoria, who was the ultimate GOAT back in season 16. And you would have thought that Cody or Derek, either one, would take her to the end and get the win. Well, Cody didn't do it. He took Derek instead, and it probably cost him. But I've always heard the rumor, and I've never gotten it confirmed, that everyone got together and said, if anyone takes Victoria to the final 2, we're voting against that person just because you took someone who had no business being the final 2. You took them to the end. I could see something like that this season. You get to the end and it's Matt and Jag and Corey in America, and they're saying, all right, and Bowie's number 5. and them saying if anyone takes Bowie to the finals, we're not voting for you, and they boot her at that point or something. Yeah, I could see it. And if Bowie Jane makes it to the final too, more power to her. And there's no one who doesn't deserve. Well, maybe Victoria, even Victoria. I don't know. If you make it there, however you make it there, I think you deserve credit for it. Some people just have different methods. Bowie Jane may realize that she can't win a lot of competition, so she has to approach it from a different direction. We'll see. I like Bowie Jane. I don't have any problem with Bowie Jane. She's. I look forward to meeting her at some point in time. I think it's funny that she's an attorney. She's a DJ. No one knows that she's an attorney. They have no clue. They don't think she's a DJ. They also think she's older than 34, which she is. I still don't know why she started that up, but whatever. All right. Kim Sinclair saying, who do you think will be the most shocked about their popularity, positive or negative, when they exit the house? I think Jared and Cameron may be in for a bit of a surprise. I heard the two of them talking. I can't remember who the main one is. Maybe Jared saying something about, oh man, the viewers are just going to love to see Thursday night. I bet they're going to be falling all over themselves and getting to see which one of us survives and stays in the house and gets to play. And it's just going to be phenomenal. It's going to be such a great Thursday. It's working so well for CBS. I don't think they realize that there's a whole lot of people out here who are saying, can we just send them both home at this point in time? We don't want either one of them back in the house. I think Jared's going to be surprised. Cameron, I don't know. I have a feeling Cameron knows that he's kind of been portrayed as a little bit of a villain inside the house. So maybe he's thinking that something similar will be shown outside. Although having said that, Cameron has spent time talking about wanting to get into other shows and become an influencer and do a lot of things that don't necessarily happen unless the viewing public likes you. So maybe he is for a bit of shock. Siri is an interesting, because she is so loved as a Survivor player. I don't think she's getting that same kind of love going forward or in the Big Brother house. So she may be a little shocked when she gets out that there's as much criticism as possible. In terms of good stuff, I don't know. I think someone like Matt, I'm not sure if he knows how he's been portrayed, but he may be surprised at just how well people like him. But even him, there's a few people who've had some issues with a few things he said. I don't know. I like Jag. Even though Jag has not played the cleanest game possible, Jag came in saying, I want to have fun playing the game. I feel like he's done what he can to survive. He's gotten lucky with Matt using the power and everything as well, but I think a lot of people like Jag. I think he'll be pleasantly surprised when he gets out that most people enjoy watching him play. I think you always wonder. I had no clue when I was in there exactly how I was going to be received until I got out. So, and you worry about it a lot. It truly occupies a lot of thoughts while you're in the house. All right, Boston Girl saying, I like Siri and want to see her play on her own. Yeah, I think anytime. As nice as it is to have a family member in there that you can depend on, say that. There's different kinds of depending upon someone, but when you have someone else that you feel tight with, I think that's an advantage. But sometimes it can hinder you, I think, because you've got to watch out for that other person. You have to spin your stories and do your things and form your alliances with that other person in mind. And I think Cerise's run into some of that. Yeah, I agree. I think if Jared goes this week, it may be a little too late for her, but I would love to see how she handles the game just on her own only, because Lord knows she's such a great social game player. If I'm Cerise and Jared goes home, the first thing I'm doing, and I've heard this a little bit already, I'm letting everyone know that, oh, woe is me. I am all alone. I've got no one left in this game. I don't even have Nicole and Felicia because they're all upset with me. I am all by myself. I can't win anything. Why in the world would you waste an HOH on me? And just make sure there are other targets out there for the next few weeks until she can find someone at the bottom of the pecking order on one of these other alliances. Maybe Corey in America. If they find out that they're towards the bottom, grab Corey in America. Maybe you can grab Felicia and Nicole, and suddenly you've got 5 people, and now you're back in the game. But I think she needs to just really do the old Eeyore, I don't have anyone at all. I think she's going to have to do that for a few weeks. and then she can start making some moves. And I think she's capable of doing it, and I think she probably will as well. There's a reason that everyone loves her so much, and why she's played so well in Survivor and Traders also. All right, Tommy Braskett saying, "Don't you think Felicia will fall for anything Cerise says to her?" I thought that until I saw that argument on Thursday. And then Ann No says Cerise is hardcore. She'll do what it takes to get further in the game. Oh, I absolutely believe that. If she thought that she needed to get rid of Jared to further her game, I don't know that she would do that. She'd consider it though. But at the end, I don't think she would turn on her own son. Now, I think Jared would turn on Cerise if it took it, that's what it took. But short of that, yeah, Cerise will lie. She'll do whatever she needs to do. I mean, that's what the game is about, right? So I absolutely do agree with that. So yeah, we'll see. It will be fun to see how she responds if that breaks up on that side. So yeah, and then what was the other one as far as Felicia? Oh, will she fall for anything that Cerise tells her? Again, I thought that until the Thursday night episode, or the episode we saw last night. I mean, I think Felicia just kind of feels like she's gotten burned a little bit by Cerise. The question is, does Felicia feel like she has anywhere else to go? Once, because she tried to kind of smooth things over with Jared a little bit, but really she just has Nicole. I'm not sure. Maybe Matt, that she thinks that she could get him on board. And maybe grab Jag as well. I think she may end up having to go back with Cerise only because she's not sure who else she can turn to. And if Cerise alone, yeah, I think Cerise will talk to Felicia and say, you're all I got. Yeah, I had the final two with him, but now it's just you and me and Nicole. And Felicia may love that because Felicia's going to say, okay, well, I got Nicole over here. I got Cerise over here. Both of them think I'm their final two. I'm set. All I got to do is hold on to these two. And then she's going to feel like she's in the driver's seat. So yeah, she probably will believe Cerise when Cerise comes to her and tells her that. All right, let's see. Charlene Pickett saying, wants Matt and Jag for the final two. I'm all on board with that. I'm perfectly fine with that for now. I hope they don't make it too easy. I'm sure they won't, because they're not going to win competitions every week. They could. They're both pretty good. I do not want a situation where they just start trading off HOHs every week and just keep picking people off. We need to have a little bit more effort than that. And again, they're playing different games. I mean, Jag, to some degree, they're both all about loyalty. Jag was too loyal to the 7 deadly sins, and it cost him. And I still feel like Jag's a little bit like Tommy Bracco was from my season. He just wants to be part of a group. He wants to have people he can depend upon. And so that's Jag. Matt just wants to be friends with everyone. And I feel like Matt's kind of a little more easily swayed than Jag is. But they're both just nice people for the most part. But they're playing a little bit differently. Jag wants to be always part of a group. Matt just wants to not ever have anyone that he has to go against unless they have wronged him, and then he'll go back after them. Yeah. Eventually, you got to go after people that maybe haven't done anything wrong to you, that you may actually like, but you still have to pull the trigger. And I think that's what Matt ran into even this past week, it was betraying Jared, but really he felt like it was more betraying Cerise when he did not use that veto. And I think he felt bad about it. I don't think that was an act when he told Cerise how bad he felt and that he did it just to protect her. I believe everything he was saying on that. But he's also pretty good about, because he's so nice, when he spins things a little bit to help his position, people buy it. For the most part, I think they buy it. All right, let's see what else we've got on here. Dwayne Thomas saying Jared's not a villain, just dumb. Well, maybe. I think there could be some overlap there. I won't say dumb. I will say inexperienced at the game of Big Brother, right? If you haven't played before, there's a certain learning curve that comes into play. Because I'd watched so many seasons, I felt like I was a little ahead of the curve. I understood the game a little bit more than other people in the house, and that helped me. We had people, without throwing out names, we had people in my season that were recruits that never played the game before, that didn't necessarily understand a lot of what it took to play the game of Big Brother. And I feel like Jared's the same way. He came in just a little bit blind to what happens in there. And I think as a result, maybe he played a little too hard. I think he probably, because he's Cerie's son and he was more exposed to Survivor, which is such a fast paced game. I think he was playing the game of Big Brother fast paced as well, which Cerie did as well. The difference is Cerie didn't have power and Jared did. And I think that snuck up and caught him a little bit. So, yeah, I won't say he's dumb. I'll just say he doesn't necessarily understand the game quite the way it needs to be played just yet. And he may not get the chance to figure it out before he goes out the door. Because I'm going to stay positive. As best I can, I'm going to stay positive. All right, let's see. What else we got? Patty Bell saying, who could win America's favorite player? Oh, that Cerie's going to get a lot of votes just because of her Survivor legacy, I think. I certainly could see her in the final three. I could see Matt in a final three, and I could see Corey in a final three. How about those three for the final three America's favorite player? I could see all of that, depending on who lasts longer, because that does have an effect on how the votes go. Yeah, I'll throw Matt in there, maybe. But I could see Corey. Personally, I would not say Cerie because I don't know that she's my favorite strictly from the game of Big Brother, right? I would go with Corey or Matt, but I do think the more casual viewers, a lot of them will be supporting Cerie because they recognize her name because she's a Survivor and all that. But I could see those three. And I'd be fine with any one of the three winning, really. More so two of those three, but any of them. All right, Mass Spoof. Is it possible Jared told his girlfriend he would have a fake showmance to advance his game? Yeah, absolutely. And he's not the first. There's been people who've said that before. I guess more power to her if she's willing to let him do everything it seems like he's done. That's quite the sacrifice. Now, here's what's really funny, and I don't think this is true because I think his girlfriend's name is Kinsey or something, and she's actually posted some on Big Brother. But what if he didn't even have a girlfriend at home? What if he just said that as part of some kind of spin while he's in the house? How would it benefit him? I don't know. There's no reason to think that's the case. But yeah, I can see someone. But if it was that case, I could see someone saying, I'm going to kind of flirt while I'm in there, and I may play along a little bit and, just realize that it's not anything. It's just me helping where I need to. But there's a difference between being a little flirty and having a lot of undercover activities. We'll just leave it like that. And it seems like they've enjoyed each other's company a lot here for the past few weeks, month, whatever it's been here lately. That's quite the tolerant girlfriend. Trust me, I did not talk to Sharon and say, hey, if I get in there, I may do a little flirting. At that point, I'd be the least of my worries would be a wall yeller, because it would be a lot more my wife coming over the wall and dragging me out by the ear, said, yeah, your Big Brother journey is over at this point in time. Most people would respond that way, right? I don't know. That would be funny and more power to them, I guess. Seems like a very dangerous way to carry on your relationship outside the house, to do something inside the house. But that's their life. Live it as you will, guys. Not the way I do it. All right, what do we have on here? Elsa for you saying it's so much better with older people in the house. I kind of think so. Yeah, we did have an older cast this season, 30.4 years, if I recall. And, there was a lot of talk. Oh, if it's older cast, you won't have as much of the showmance and all that. We still have a lot of drama. Felicia's 63 years old. She's in there. She's kicking rear end, doing what she can to play the game. Haisam started off as kind of a big villain for a while. He was 45 or something, if I recall. Yeah, we've had older players this season. And then you turn around, the youngest player in the whole house, Corey, is not only having the showmance, but I really feel like Corey, in a lot of ways, has been a leader in some of his analysis and everything else. So I'm not going to say just older people, although if you want to have an all old person season, call me CBS. I'd love to be a part of that. But I like the diversity of the age. Don't have them all old. Don't have them all young. Spread it out, just like the real world demographics are, and see how different people play the game differently. And I'm glad they did it. I am very happy with the cast I had this season, including the variation in the ages. All right, let's see what else. Vicky saying Blue needs to spill the beans about Jared and his mom. I keep waiting. It's like the other shoe dropping, right? How is she? I don't know that I believe anything at all that Blue says. On one day, she's telling Jag and Corey in America that she's on board with them, that she wants to work with them, that she's tired of Jared. Next day, she's back lovey-dovey with Jared. She's trying to get in tight with Siri. I kind of think that is the true Blue, that she's not going to turn on Jared and Siri. And I'm not going to say that's not smart. She said a few times, why would I turn on the people I know are going to protect me? It doesn't make any sense. And I think she's right. But people have also told her your connection to Jared is making you a little bit of a target as well. And I think that's a valid criticism as well. But it seems to me, man, if I'm Blue and I'm sitting there on the block with Jared, now maybe because it's a double eviction, so she didn't have time. But even if it's a double, I might have sung like a canary when Julie says, all right, you got 15 seconds to give your eviction speech, Blue. What'd she say something about, the same thing he said, but sweeter and prettier or something. I may have gotten up there and said, hey, just so you know, Siri and Jared are mother, son. They're never going to split up from each other. They're hardcore with each other. Why would you get rid of me when you've got a family relationship already here? And sorry, Jared, but has to be. I would weaponize that as quickly as I could and use it. I say as quickly as I can, as long as she feels like she can ride with them and get some protection from them, because people are going to go after Jared before they go after her. Now, once Jared is gone, you kind of lose your power at that point in time. I was really wondering if Jared was going to get evicted last Thursday, and before he had a chance to come back in the house, Blue was going to say, all right, well, I guess it's okay now. I can tell everyone that Jared and Siri were mother, son, but yeah, it doesn't matter now. And then Jared comes walking back into the house. How glorious would that have been? That would have been fun. All right. Dwayne Thomas saying, anytime you win in the house, they vote you out. Floating is the way to go. Yeah, it's kind of weird that, it seems like as soon as someone wins a competition, you're the new comp beast, the comp threat. Yeah, it is kind of unusual that people are looking back instead of looking forward to some degree. I think the first half of the season being a floater probably hasn't been a bad way to go, because you certainly you've got some strong, and maybe it's just the cast we have. You've got some strong personalities on both sides that just tend to really polarize everyone else in the house. And you've got people going after each other as a result. So suddenly now if you're a floater, you're kind of safe in the middle. We've had a lot of people. I know Jared has said that he wants to get rid of the people who aren't doing anything. We've heard Matt and Jag complaining about Bowie Jane and a few others saying, they're making us do all the work. We're having to work it. So it's not that the floaters are getting by without having anyone looking at them and potentially targeting them. It just seems like so far they've been able to stay under the radar. And more power to them if they can do that. Yeah, I agree. It does seem like as soon as you win, suddenly everyone starts looking at you. And I don't know, is it because you get blood on your hands because you put up people from the other side? Or is it just they're just looking at people and saying, well, obviously you must be good at these competitions, so we need to get you out before you can win anymore? A little bit of both. Part of it's because Jared and Cameron won back to back to back to back. So you've had 4 weeks before Corey won this last double. But before that, you had 4 weeks of just two people exchanging power. And so, yeah, it's just been kind of a weird season in terms of who wins it. When I did my season 21, I think we went 7 or 8 weeks straight where a new person won HOH every single week. I can't remember when that was first broken. Maybe it's Holly that won too. I don't remember, but yeah, we had like 7 or 8 of us that each one won, and then someone else won the next week. So you never really it didn't feel like people were looking at you because you had won a competition and suddenly you're the comp beast. I didn't feel like that when I won my HOH because so many other people had already won HOHs, but this season a little bit different. All right, what do we have on here? Wow, 5 minutes. I'm going to try to get through these as quick as I can. and cover as much as I can. Connie Engel Kings. Hey, Connie. Do you feel there'll be anyone else coming into the house, either battle back or past house guest? Past house guest? No, it's been too long. Unless they just came back in to host or something. But I still think people are a little cautious with COVID and all. So I don't see that unless they do something like Kaiser did. That's just a video of a scary verse or something. Another battle back. Yeah, I could see a post-jury battle back of some sort taking place. I think we'll have another double eviction perhaps, and then another battle back as well. I could see that happening a little bit further down. Hopefully not for a few weeks. So we'll see. All right, real quick. Let me go out here and look. Yeah, there's my mouse. Kim Sinclair. Kim, thank you so much. She says, thanks for making this season make sense. Well, I try. I mean, I go out there and watch and try to analyze as best as I can. I watch all these overnight feeds and I pretend like I'm in the house and try to think, what would I be thinking if I saw all the conversations, which is a nice luxury to have. But thank you. I appreciate the support so much, Kim. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So, yeah, I have fun doing it. It's a labor of love. All right, Kendra saying, why do we hear production say they can't sleep on the feeds? Are they not able to sleep during the day? That's exactly it. And then Taylor Mangus is saying, do they put any form of entertainment in the house for your season? Like Sudoku, wouldn't that have been great? Cards, etc. Wonder if it's truly have nothing to do besides existing in Game Talk. That's it. Yeah. Now, first of all, yes, you are not allowed to sleep from 10 o'clock in the morning. It depends on when they wake you up, but normally 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at the night, you're not supposed to sleep because they want good TV. They don't want people lounging around and not saying anything and being boring and all that. Last season, they didn't really enforce it. It seems like there are a lot of people sleeping throughout the day, and I don't like that. If you're going to stay up to 4 a.m, you pay the price the next day by feeling miserable because you can't sleep during the day. But yeah, there's no sleeping during the day, and so that's why they tell you that. Now, if you close your eyes for just a few seconds and you got your hat pulled down low and all that, you can get away with a little cat nap here or there. But for the most part, no sleeping allowed. As far as entertainment, there's nothing. I remember sitting there reading the back of cereal boxes because I was so bored. I was reading the back of peanut butter jars and everything, just because there was nothing else to do and it drove you crazy. At the very end of the season, when there were 4 of us, I think, they gave us a deck of cards so that we had at least something to do because you get so few people and suddenly you're not talking a lot anyway, and it just gets boring for the live feeders. At some point, they say, we're better off giving them cards. So we had those. And no one else in my group of 4 played gin or hearts or anything or poker. Nothing had to do with cards. So that was kind of a waste on our part. Now, during my season, we had backgammon, which I love backgammon. I taught everyone else how to play. We did a lot of that. This season, they've got that bumper pool. They've got a foosball out on the second level on the backyard. So you've got a few things to entertain yourself, but 0 reading materials, 0 music. The only music we get is in the morning when they wake us up. We get 3 songs. So what is that, about 10 minutes or so while everyone's waking up, exchanging batteries and all of that. And the feeds are never on during that. But other than those 3 songs during the day, and a few table games they've got there, they're nothing. It gets so boring in there, hearing the same stories from the same people that you've heard for the last 3 months. It just makes you want to rip your hair out. Trust me on that. It's rough. All right, 7:50 now. We're going to wrap this up pretty quick. David Simonevi? Simono. I hope I got that right, Dave. Said, I had to house guests know if their chip is in the veto box. The grand conspiracy. I hear it every year. Saria has not been picked to play in a veto, and I don't think yet. I feel like she set a record I saw somewhere. We thought the same thing during our season. Nicole got picked to play the very first veto, and then she didn't get picked again until, I don't know if she ever got picked again until we didn't have the veto draw. Holly never got picked. She just was not getting veto. We were so convinced that there was something sneaky going on that during one of the draws where she didn't get picked, we actually took the box and we felt in there to feel all the chips and we checked them out. Hers was in there. There's no secret conspiracy going on. It's just random draw and sometimes weird things happen. I'm sure it's the same with Siri. Her chip is in there. Why would it not be in there? It's just for whatever reason, it just has not gotten picked. I don't think there's any top secret conspiracy behind it. It's just some people just have better luck than others. I played in every single veto except for 2. So I was in 26 of the 28 competitions during my season, something like that. It was a lot of numbers. I got picked a lot. Other people, not so much. I think it's just random draw. Truly is. All right, 801. I think we're going to shut it down, guys. Man, I appreciate it. Again, I tried to get as many questions as I could, but I also tend to ramble when I talk. And so apologies in advance for that. If you got a question, though, shoot me a DM, Instagram, Twitter, either one. I will answer it. I love to talk, Big Brother. So ask me your questions. We will do this again next Monday as well. And until then, every morning I do my morning recap. So y'all check those out as well. Guys, as I said at the very beginning, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. You can do a little thumbs up while you're out there and turn on your notifications so you know when I drop a new episode. I try to do it as early in the morning as I can, but sometimes these house guests stay up a little late and I never quite know when to shut it down. But guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. Well, we're almost done with Mondays. Have a great Monday night. Have a great rest of the week. We'll know by next Monday night whether Jared or Cameron stayed in the house, and then hopefully there'll be a little more strategy and stuff going on at that point in time. Until then, guys, though, y'all have a fantastic week. A big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all y'all guys. Love the game of Big Brother. So thank y'all for joining me for Monday night. Have a great one. Until whenever. Cheers, guys. Y'all have a great one. When I can figure out how to turn this thing off. Talk to y'all later, guys. Bye.